So you're working hard, you eat in a calorie deficit, you get your steps in, and you go to the gym. But for some reason, you still don't lose that belly fat. I know exactly what that feels like. I used to be fat for years until I figured out what to do. And since then, I managed to transform my body to looking like this. And in this video, I'm going to help you get similar results, but way faster. Number 1, spot reduction is a myth. Now, here's the truth, right? There is no such thing as spot reducing fat. You know, when you lose fat in general, you lose it all across your body and not just in one specific area at a time. Probably the main reason why you still struggle to lose belly fat specifically, right, is because some areas just take so much longer than others. Some lose fat in the midsection way faster, meanwhile for someone else it takes way longer. You know, take me for example. I lose fat in my arms and my legs so much faster compared to my midsection. You know, the last thing when I get lean, right, the last thing that I see, that is my abs, when everything else actually has good definition. Now listen, why I'm telling you this and why it's important to understand is because this all depends on genetics and you can't get frustrated over it because you can't control it. So my advice to you, just keep doing the same things, you know, that gets you the results, but just keep doing it over a longer period of time. And I promise you that you will get the results, especially in your belly, if you just keep doing the same things that is actually working, if you just keep going. Now, if you feel like you want my personal help with this, where you and me, we work together to make you build muscle and lose fat at the same time, you know, just like me in this picture right here, then click the first link in the description right now. Number 2, consistency will always beat perfection. I don't know about you, but for me personally, right, whenever I watch fitness content, you know, Instagram, YouTube, or whatever you can think of, people seem to have this perfect routine all figured out. You know, they do the same thing every single day at the same time, you know, over and over and over. And it seems like it's impossible to do it yourself. This is something you will struggle with, especially when you're first starting out. So don't get frustrated. You know, don't have the mindset just like I did when I first started. I thought to myself, no joke, that I will be able to do 5 days a week, you know, working out and eating healthy every single day without having any problems whatsoever. But that is just being delusional. You have to start slow and, you know, actually work on your consistency over time. Because these people, right, that you see on social media, they have been working out for years and years and years. And that routine that they're showing you, they have built that up over a long period of time. They didn't start doing it just right from the start. You know, for me personally, without any experience, right, I was able to do this routine for about 2 weeks or so. And then I got completely overwhelmed and then I decided to quit. And, you know, I was stuck in this cycle for months and months and months of, you know, doing it for 2 weeks and then quitting and then go back and forth. And I made like no progress to my body whatsoever. It was once I changed my approach and, you know, started to work on my consistency rather than being perfect with every single thing that I did. That's when I started to see progress to my body, you know, just like in this picture right here. You know, take it at your own pace and just work on building a solid routine that you do on a weekly basis consistently rather than doing like crazy amounts from the start and, you know, just quitting like 2 or 3 weeks later because it's way too much. What I personally did was go to the gym about 3 days a week to start with. And, you know, I didn't really have a good workout whatsoever. However, I was just getting myself, you know, into the routine of showing up to the gym consistently, no matter if I had a good workout or not. You know, you can't have a good workout if you don't even show up to the gym in the first place. Now, don't get frustrated, you know, oh, I don't know the exercises or what workout routine should I do? There are so many to choose between. The only thing you should focus on right now is to just show up at the gym. And over time, trust me when I say this, you will learn about the workout routines and all the different exercises. Just keep going to the gym and get that going consistently. Now, when it comes to food, what really helped me, you know, to get good progress is to start cleaning up my eating environment. You know, before I even started to improve my eating in general, you have to clean up your eating environment. And let me explain what I mean. What I mean with this is that it's so much easier, you know, to stay consistent on good eating habits when you don't have bad foods easy to access around you. You know, just think about it to yourself. If you walk into your kitchen, right, and every single time you're in there, you see chocolate and chips and, you know, candy and different bad foods. Sooner or later, no matter how disciplined you are, right, you are going to take a piece or two. Now, how you counter this is by swapping out these bad foods for healthier options, you know, that will actually help you to make progress rather than lose progress along the way. Replace the chips for popcorn, replace the soda for sugar-free versions. Instead of having chocolate or candy, you can have fruits, with honey or something basic. Prioritizing consistency over being perfect will get you the results you want. Just give it time, but always try and become a little bit better with everything you do when it comes to exercising and your eating habits. Just one step at a time. Again, if you want my personal help with this, then remember to click the first link in the description. Number 3, stop comparing your progress to people on social media. Now this right here is a trap that I fall into basically every single day, and I guarantee that you probably do as well. We keep comparing ourselves, especially our physiques, to people on social media that look so much better than us. I know that when people say, oh, don't compare yourself to people on social media, that's just their highlight reel and they don't look like that every single day. It sounds kind of obvious, right? But it's so much more important than you think to actually do this properly. Social media is this massive highlight reel of people just showing the best versions of themselves over and over and over. When people show physique pictures especially, they have taken so many pictures that you don't even realize. I have done this myself, and I can literally take hundreds and hundreds of photos, just decide on picking one single photo that I actually think looks good. And on top of that as well, there is a lot of editing as well. So the final product that you see on social media is like completely different from real life. Now, how do I know that this is true? Because I do the same thing myself when I post on Instagram. Of course you want to show the best version of yourself. It's kind of obvious, right? Like, why would I show a worse version of myself when I have the option to take way more pictures and actually get a version that I think looks the best? Now, here's the problem, right? Some people go way further than, just doing basic editing. They go into Photoshop as well, completely change, even how big their physique is, or, just the way the background is, or even their face, or whatever you can think of. So the final product, when they finish in Photoshop, is completely different from the original photo that they took. Now, this is just another reason why you shouldn't compare yourself to people on social media, because the final product is so much more different than the original photo. And ask yourself this question as well. Whenever you see someone with a good physique, does this motivate you or does it not motivate you? Do you feel bad about yourself when you see someone with a better physique, or do you feel motivated that you can get there yourself? If it is the first one, that you get disappointed, then you have to do something about it, because it gives you zero benefits whatsoever. And it just doesn't even make you work hard because you don't feel like it's worth it. Now, you will probably never meet these people in real life, right? So why let them have a negative impact on your life rather than a positive one? Use it as motivation, no matter how unrealistic the pictures are, because in some way you can still take a positive thing out of it, right? That you should work harder or whatever you can think of. It's about changing your mindset. When you look at these people and you realize that they also have imperfections, just that they don't show you them on social media because it is a highlight reel, then you just feel better about yourself, because every single person, no matter, how rich or how good looking they are, they all have imperfections that they don't want to tell other people about. At the end of the day, right, it would always be you against you. And if you can use social media, right, to inspire yourself or motivate yourself to work even harder and get faster and better results, then that is great, and keep doing it. But if you're the other type of person, right, that only puts yourself down over and over and over, and it makes you even mess up your routine that you're doing consistently, then, you just have to take a step back and actually figure something out, because it's only going to make your mental health worse. Number 4, get more active throughout the day. Most people, they overestimate how much they move on a daily basis, but they underestimate how powerful movement is, for just fat loss in general. When I say get more active throughout the day, it can be whatever you enjoy doing, bike riding, swimming, running, you get the idea. I don't know about you, but for me personally, right, I don't want to go out of my way, to actually get the exercise in. I want to try and incorporate it into my daily life without having to do like specific time for it. So what I personally do is just more walking on a daily basis, because that is easy, to incorporate with your day-to-day life. Why I decided to do just more walking in general is because it's low effort and you can do it for a long period of time, without putting a lot of strain on your body. And look at this picture right here. The only kind of cardio that I did was more walking in general. So this actually proves to you that you can get good results with low intensity cardio. You don't have to do these crazy sprints, over and over and over. Now, a good rule of thumb that I like to follow when it comes to walking is to do 10,000 steps every single day. And the easiest way to track this is by either using an app on your phone, or I personally just use a smartwatch, because then I can see my steps every single time I'm walking. Now, depending on how active you are at, then maybe you don't need 10,000 steps right away. Let's say you have a very sedentary lifestyle and you sit down for most of the day, when you come home and when you're at work. Then maybe you just need about 7,000 steps to actually see good progress. Do this for a couple of days and see if the scale is moving or not. Now, the main idea that I want to get across to you, right, is just that you move your body more completely in general. Whether you decide to do more walking or whatever you can think of, just move your body more. Period. Now, if you feel that your progress has been slowing down recently and you're eating good and you're working out, adding a low intensity form of cardio on top of your working out and eating, that is the perfect formula to actually get so much faster results. Number 5, patience is everything. One of the main reasons why people who want to get in shape never do it is because they don't have the patience to do it long enough, because the results take time. You can't just completely change your body in a matter of days. If I said to you that you can go from overweight to lean with a six-pack in a matter of days, you would be very skeptical, right? Because it doesn't even make sense to begin with. Now, if I said that you can get a six-pack and get lean in a matter of months or, weeks, then it sounds way more realistic, right? Because deep down that this stuff actually takes time, to get the results that you want. Now, why patience is important is because some days, right, you will feel so unmotivated to go to the gym and, eat the foods that you should be eating, that you start thinking to yourself like, why am I even doing this in the first place? I should just be giving up. Like, I'm not even making any progress, so what is the point? This right here is where you need the patience the most, because this is the main reason why people give up. They get these thoughts and they just completely let go of everything. You have to realize this harsh truth. You didn't get out of shape in just a couple of weeks, so you can't expect to fix every single problem with your appearance in just a couple of weeks either. That is just setting yourself up for failure. We all have completely different starting points. Some people start out as overweight and some people start out as skinny. And depending on your own starting point, you will get completely different results compared to someone else. At the end of the day though, in my personal opinion, I think that fitness should be part of your life for the rest of your life, in one way or another. Don't make it something that is temporary, but something that is a new lifestyle for yourself that you can do for the rest of your life. This is the true benefits of actually doing fitness. We want to look good and be healthy for as long as possible, right? So why make it something temporary? The only way we can achieve this is by doing it for a long period of time. Basically the rest of your life in one way or another. Because I don't know about you, but for me personally, right, I want to be pain-free as much as I can when I'm like 70 years old. And I still want to be able to take care of myself with every single thing that I do. I don't want to leave my life to anyone else's hands just because I didn't take care of myself when I was younger. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Now, if you want a really simple way to lose fat and get great progress to your body, then click and watch this video next, where I tell you exactly what you need to do.